All right, so I went ahead and laid these parts out here on the table for us to take a look at while they're doing our
Jesse,
personal.
What the hell is going on?
Jesse. Oh my God.
What is going on?
Oh my God.
Jesse, look. What is going
Oh
on?
my God, someone call 911.
We got some really cool parts from Nitrous Express. They got us set up with everything we need for the NASROD. Now all we have to do is install it, which can be very overwhelming if you don't know what you're doing, obviously. The direct port stuff is a little more in-depth to install than like a single fogger or a plate system. But today we're going to show you a little bit how we're going to do it. We're going to have Stacie behind the camera. I'll have Kyle and JJ giving me a hand. All right, a little bit about what we got here. First things first, the most important part, we have STDs. Not the kind you're thinking of. These are straight through designed nozzles. Instead of a 90 degree, they tend to flow better, have a better mixture, and don't have a hard 90 for the nitrous and fuel to break at the end. Usually get a lot more, better atomization and a lot more flow out of these from what they tell me. I don't know, I'm not a nitrous guy. Let's get that out of the window right now. Like, I am not a nitrous guy, I'm a turbo guy. But when you have 15-to-1 compression, turbos just really isn't a thing on the NASROD. So, and I don't want to give up this really badass Steve Morse engine. So for the meantime,
it's already built for nitrous, we might as well.
Yeah, I don't think that's really built for nitrous, but what engine isn't built for nitrous is what I've been told. We got some really big solenoids. Usually they're not this big, but they must have known that we're gonna party. We got all number 6 lines, which is unusual for nitrous. Usually it's all number 4 stuff. So again, lots of flow, lots of party. I already took the liberty to install the bottles and the remote openers they gave us with the really cool billet brackets. But let's get these parts open. Let's lay it out a little bit better so you can see what we have. And let's get to drilling. It takes a special 16th NPT drill bit. I don't know why they don't include it when no one has that size. So I had to buy it. I got it off Amazon. It was like 12 bucks, no big deal. It's here like the same day. So if you don't have one of those, you're gonna do the STD nozzles, you gotta get one. We got our drill press rigged up with a 1/4-inch drill bit, a nice new drill bit. We're gonna lube it up real good and we're gonna drill these holes as straight as we can in here. We'll pre-center punch them and go from there. I'll let Kyle and JJ get the manifold set up and get the drilling. We're gonna lay this stuff out and show you guys what we got. We do have the parts laid up here so we can take a look at them. We talked about the nozzles before. We got some fittings for the solenoids here, distribution blocks here. These really nice big carbon fiber covered solenoids. They're really light actually, which is uncommon for nitrous solenoids. We got some tube nuts, some tube sleeves, a few plugs, and these like really cool crush ferrules that making these lines really easy. As you can see, it's already pre-flared for the jet, for the nitrous jet. So then you don't have to worry about leaking flare, because flaring stainless steel tube can be hard if you don't have the proper tools. And then what it does is it actually allows you to just, this is like a fitting that you'd use kind of like on a home air conditioner to hook a water line up. It literally just slides over, and then it's a compression fitting that crushes in here. And so when you tighten that down, it crushes that and makes a good seal. Pretty easy stuff. We'll get these lines bent up. They do suggest that you have a tube cutter, which we got a quality one here, and a reamer. Basically, this is to, after you cut this tube, it'll shrink down in size, and then you just use this here to open it back up. Those are the main tools. I got my tap, I got my socket, so I could ratchet that in. So let's drill some holes, and then we'll tap them and get everything set up. I'm gonna drill this one here. I did make a mark, and we're gonna go from there. You always want to make sure you have proper lubrication. It saves the life of your drill bit and will keep you from distorting your aluminum. There's that hole down. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of them knocked out and we'll go from there. Like I said before, there's a couple ways of doing this. You could just send your manifold to Nitrous Express and they'll do it for you. I don't know what that costs. Or you could take it to your local machine shop that has a Bridgeport mill and have them mill it up. But I'm going to show just like kind of if you were at home and you had a drill press, this is how you do it. You could get a hand drill and do it on the tailgate of your truck at the racetrack if you really got desperate. All right, got all our holes drilled. I'm gonna go ahead and tap them. And it may take a couple tries getting the depth right. You just wanna make sure the nozzle is coming through far enough so you can see both holes with no obstruction. So yeah, it's pretty easy stuff. There's a lot of different tap handles out there. I just prefer a ratchet just because when you're going into aluminum, just no pressure, just let it roll. And it'll line itself. Just like this here. And then I do use a little tapping fluid just to keep it from gumming up on you. Typically on these nitrous nozzles, you gotta go past the threads of the tap, almost like countersink the tap down in there to make sure you have enough depth because it's a taper thread. Sometimes you gotta back up and clear the threads. Good idea, and then you just go right back in there and it goes a lot smoother. And I'll start them all dry, and then once I get all my depth right, I'll pull them back out and put the Teflon sealer on her. So I don't have enough depth for the nozzle there. But you can see up here it gets kind of loose and stuff. That's just because we countersunk the tap so far. And they have you use the 1/4 inch drill bit, which is like one size bigger than a 1/16 tap would normally call for, but that's so you can get the depths. So if not, you'll be halfway through the threads where, like on a normal pipe fitting would be fine, but when you're trying to go deep, you got to give her a little extra. So on these two center ones, on this side, and probably they'll be close on this other side, we'll have to shave these bosses down a little bit for the injector to get this to fit and be able to tighten up. Like this one here clears on the flat side of the nut, but not on the tall side, so don't want to have any interference. That way when we're changing jets at the track or whatever, we won't have to fight with it. We'll just shave this down a little bit. It'll be good to go. Like I said, you can be kind of careless going into aluminum because it's going to walk with the hole. It ain't going to walk away from the hole. Passive least resistance on the seals. Obviously, after you get them all drilled and tapped and everything, you want to clean this up really good. These metal shavings aren't something you want going in the motor, obviously. So I'll probably just use some brake cleaner and a rag and some compressed air and get it all cleaned up. Usually by the last one you got a pretty good rhythm down of how it needs to go right as you're done. Alright, so now I have all the nozzles installed. I'm going to start making some lines. I think they say one of the keys is to use a jet, because if not the tube nut will be loose inside, so I'm gonna start with that. Alright, I have all my nozzles mocked up. I have my fuel rails back in for clearance reasons. You just want to make sure that you don't build yourself into a corner. I'm always preaching that. I live by that rule, don't build yourself into a corner. So that's what we're gonna do. I went ahead and assembled our distribution blocks to our solenoid so we can work on it. The black wire is the nitrous, red wire is the fuel. Took me a second to think about that. And then I do have some various benders. These are various tubing benders, mostly for brake lines. This one's a fuel line one you get from a parts store, really cheap, kind of crappy deal. The radius is too big for what we're doing. This is a really good set of pliers that I use for brake lines. It works great on stainless. It doesn't really mark them up too bad. And then this is my go-to when it comes to any kind of lines. It just got a good radius. It works real good. I can bend a 180 in it, no problem. But I think the radius is gonna be too big for what we're doing, so I think this tool here is gonna be where we're at. Another thing to think about, you want to build it with the jets in it, even if it's whatever mock-up jets, it don't matter, because the heights change when you have the jet in there versus not in there. And you don't want to build something and have all it set up for no jets and go to put jets in there and have something fit and have a clearance issue, and that's just bad. So What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start mocking up the line. I'll kind of talk about how to mark the lines once you get them bent how you want, so you can cut it and it'll be right the first time, so you don't have to waste a bunch of this line. They do send more than enough line. This is just one side worth. I kind of got it divided up. They do send more than enough line, so it's easy to get the job done. Let me show you how to bend the line and kind of how to measure it, and then we'll speed up the process a little bit, and you can see the finished product. Take your line, the flared end, take the tube nut, which is a little silver thing, slide that bad boy on there, like so. Tube nut. These are nice fittings. I build a lot of brake lines with them, so I'm familiar with them. It's just a really good double seal technique. Grab a couple jets, just set them up in here for mock-up purposes. I'm just gonna set them up in here. As long as we don't have an earthquake, these won't go anywhere because they fit in there really nicely. The inside ones are nitrous, the outside ones are fuel, so I'm gonna start with the nitrous ones. In and out, purge. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start out just with a hard 90 bend and see where that gets me. Then you hold this up in the center of your intake. That's usually the best look. I always make 2 marks right where I want it. You wanna mark it right here at the end of the threads when your line comes across. That's how you mark it. I got 2 lines. I cut in the middle. That way if I have to sand it down, I can see how far I need to sand. I tend to cut them on the longer side. Obviously, you know, you can always take a little more material off. You can't really add it back. You can kind of just manipulate it on the manifold, but that's right where I want it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that off. Take your tool. It's the deburr tool, or you know, it's actually a countersink bit for wood. Put that in the end there. Open that bad boy up. Give her a quick little blow. Then you can line it back up in there. Just kind of put a little preload on that guy. You can see this one here that I'm wiggling is the deburred one. The one over here that I'm wiggling now is not deburred. You can see it's like half as much. So when you deburr it, is essentially what I'm calling it. When you use the countersink bit, you can open it back up and get your full flow back. Once you get one done, you kind of get the hang of things. It goes pretty easy. This isn't difficult, it's just time consuming. You just got to pay attention. You know, the more you take your time, the nicer you do it, the nicer it'll turn out, the more professional it'll look. You can get professional results being, you know, a do-it-yourselfer in your garage. That's always, you know, everyone thinks you have to have like super special tools and all kinds of equipment and stuff, but realistically, if you just use the tools that you have wisely, think outside the box, take your time and just do a nice job, it'll come out really good. You almost got this bad boy cut off. It takes a little bit with the stainless, a couple rounds. Stainless is a good material to use for this stuff. So I got my first 2 on there. My solenoid's looking level. The solenoid's looking centered. I'm gonna kind of snug one of these guys down. You don't want to go crazy with it because it's a one-time crush deal, but just kind of cinch up on it. It just tightens things down. All right. So those 2 are the easy 2. These ones here are gonna be a little harder because we're pointing up and back. So I have to put a kick in it here. I can show you guys how to do that. That's not too bad. And then obviously we also got to get up that extra little bit. So we'll just, you know, a lot of guys will run a line out here and run a line here and make a mark, but it always confuses me, so I'm not going to do that. I just know I got to be about 1 inch longer, so I'll just move my bit 1 inch further down the line. Okay, and to do this little bend thing, all you got to do, okay, it's an S bend. You just turn it on its side. You kind of go to bend a little bit the way you think it needs to go. Kick it out. I usually give it about 1 inch or so and start to kick back. And I am going to use, I got a couple little pry bars here. Sometimes you can just take a little pry bar in there, just kind of give it a little kick over. You don't really want that stainless line rubbing against that aluminum fuel rail if you can keep it from happening. So that's how I keep that from happening. Take your Sharpie, 2 lines, cut between the 2. Keep it methodical, keep it simple, rock and roll. And it's always the best idea to not have any like, I don't know, like have these in a bind. Because you can get them started, they'll tighten down and everything, but if you ever have to work on it in the pits, you're really going to be kicking yourself, because last thing you want to do when the motor's hot, you're trying to give her a little bump in power, is, you know, you have to fiddle with trying to line up and cross thread these nozzles in the pits, and yeah, it's not a good deal. So basically you just keep on going like this here. Sometimes the line will bend easier on some of them than others. If you kick it too much, you can always just kind of come back and hand bend it back and massage it. I'm trying to keep it interesting. I'm trying not to bore you guys. It's just, you know, it ends up being kind of repetitive, because you just, you know, bend, measure, cut, bend, measure, cut, bend, measure, cut, bend, measure, cut. Like, it's unfortunately a repetitive process, but if you don't get bored in the middle of it, you know, you learn a little something. Maybe not, I don't know. Hopefully you do. Hopefully it helps, you know, guys ask some questions, because I did a bunch of research on this before, and there is some things that guys just don't tell you, and I think I've tried to cover every point that I can. It's really self-explanatory. Nitrous is really safe if you're smart about it. If you're not smart about it, then you can get yourself into trouble, or if you get greedy. That's most of the time what happens, the guys get greedy. So that's how you do it. You just repeat the same thing on the fuel side. When you're done, it'll look something like this here. Well, here we have it, the Nitrous Express direct port install, all complete, plugged in and plumbed on the NASROD. It came out really good. It really wasn't that hard to do. If you're a DIYer, totally feasible to do in your own garage. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited to see what kind of power gains we get out of the nitrous system on this, because it makes a lot of power on motor. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.